How to escape the obsessed nigihell circus. Hello, soy buru. My name is Nuck Figs. One day I was tired of scrolling through the endless coal on the QA and decided to look for a game to pirate. I looked on Steam and saw this new game called Fun Shardy Adventures. It featured screenshots of an amusement park with Nate and his friends having fun. I thought to myself how cool it would be to play some new soyteen-crafted jemmy. I tried looking for a crack of the game, but there were none available as the game was too nothing he cares about for someone to be bothered to make one. But after a while, I saw a strange link suddenly appear on Discord from a user with a default avatar and random letters as his name. I thought it was just a bot from the servers of Mumbai trying to scam me. The link said, funshardy.adventures.free/fatman repack.download. My intuition told me this was obviously a Jeet scam virus IP grabber or something, but I was a giant retard who ignored it and decided to play anyway. After all, it's just a virus at worst, not like there's anything valuable on my laptop, I said to myself as the file was downloading. Once complete, I unpacked the file and started the .x, but something went wrong. The starting screen featured an incredibly fast montage of BMT clips with sissy hypno ASMR Nightcore playing. I immediately tried to close it, realizing this was 100% some obsessed Jardy virus or some shit, but it didn't close. The BMT montage kept going, so I opened up Task Manager to force close it, but then a Windows error popped up saying, "Gag, you fell for my bait," alongside an image of a Vanta brown nigger wearing a purple bunny costume besides it. I pressed the shutdown button on my laptop, but when I did, I felt my hand get zapped with a surge of electricity that fried my entire body. I went unconscious and awoke what felt like hours later. But I wasn't in reality. I was inside some PS1 retro pixel art world. Before me was a giant empty landscape with a tile texture stretching endlessly to the horizon. In the distance, I saw the only thing there, a big red tent. When I approached it, three very diverse figures appeared from thin air before me. The one on the left looked like some washed-up mystery meat Meximut ESL from the favelas of Brazil, wearing a clown costume with a name tag saying Palm Z. On the right was a morbidly obese African with a disturbing blank face, his eyes glowing from within his yellow, decaying mouth. Lastly, in the center was some Vanta Brown ESL FNF Edo variant, wearing a purple bunny costume with a distant gaze. It looks like the one I saw in that era. The Meximut clown approached me and said, "Aye, our first gringo player welcomes to El Obsessed Nigihell Circus. We are as the land of joy and is of fun for Jardy babies the whole world wide." Before I could respond, the Vanta Brown bunny shoved the clown aside and awkwardly stared at me. He then slowly moved his mouth in a monotone voice saying, "Gag, we are is normally get Dalit and Brapzillions. Gag, my name is Circus 2, the sexy Mexiarian next to me is Palm Z, and the little wholesome cat cosplayer is Jimbo." The yellow-teethed blob then let out a slimy, unintelligible howl that sounded like a mix between African tribal tongue, Arab, and Hebrew. Circus 2 then said, "Gag, me must attend group goon sesh. Me is gone for hours, I think. Good gooning, everyone." He immediately vanished. I saw text at the bottom left of my view. It looked like a chat of some kind. Circus_2 has disconnected from server. I guess this place was a game of some kind. It was bizarre being stuck here with a bunch of name-fag niggers, but I must admit I was morbidly curious as to what was going on. Pomsy and Jimbo walked towards the giant red tent to lift the curtains up, inviting me in. I slowly stepped through to be awestruck by what I saw. It was a giant room the size of a stadium, hundreds of mystery meat mix and pick variety of black and browns sitting in audience seats, watching a performance of something in the center of the room. I tried to find an empty seat to get a better look at what was happening. I found a spot between two jeets, but it was littered with goy slop popcorn, which is just fried jardy seed. Normally I would be totally disgusted, but hey, this is a video game. It's not like it's real life. I sat down to finally see the stage. In the center, a borderline anorexic man with bright orange hair and an Indian headband was sitting down on a wooden chair, typing into a laptop. There was a giant screen behind him, which was streaming the laptop's desktop on a Discord call, with what I could make out to be thousands of morbidly obese jardy babies in there. The stick figure Jeet was typing away into a post that upon further inspection was on Soyjack Party. He was posting about how my Nai is his beautiful Israel wife, to which he then repeatedly replied to his own thread pretending to be different users who were partaking in the discussion. Whenever an angry Nusoy replied, the entire audience exhaled in laughter. It seems like this entire show was about baiting shardy users. After a round of applause, the skinny Jeet closed the laptop and slowly got up from his chair and bowed. A new text appeared. It was from Palm Z. Nuck Figs will now take his turn. I suddenly teleported onto the stage, the chair right in front of me with the laptop and a doo-doo that was left over from the Jeet. Do your best to entertain everyone, Pomsy said in chat. I was getting kind of scared. I had stage fright. I didn't want to be a name fag. But I pushed on and sat on the chair, opening the laptop. I went to the shardy and immediately started posting about being trans, by the way, which baited dozens of Nusoy, pleasing the crowd immensely, with the Jardy babies all giving me a thumbs up. Pomsy then teleported next to me. Ah, Nuck, you is done goodest job for El Gringo, oh Algo. Me take you to Fun House for reward, mi amigo. We is expect great taki potential from Zuo Algo. He then gave me a yellow and blue badge that said, Baited Everyone Award. I was once again teleported, but this time it was a shitty dilapidated room with the scent of piss and alcohol and yellow wallpaper. It reminded me of the Black Rooms. Before me were a few arcade machines, themed around whatever game was in it. There were arcades of Genshit, Delta Trunog, Mouse Slopping, Celeste, Minagoon, and many others. There were only two other people here. Jimbo, who was making obscene wailing noises at the One Goon arcade, and some morbidly obese, Vanta Brown nigger with red lips, literal, who at the Nigmori arcade with a name tag that said something like Hydra 1488 or something, who was gooning all over it. At this point, I was getting pretty nervous about this place. I didn't want to stay any longer. I felt like I had seen enough to realize just how shitty this Jardy hellscape was like. I tried finding some exit button of some kind, but I couldn't. I walked up to Jimbo to ask him how to leave this place. Jimbo was too focused on whatever gross shit he was staring at. Palm Z then came out of the wall with no clip. The fat bastard must have been eavesdropping on me. He said, No mame senior, you have has just broken one of the rules in El Terms of Service. This not very talky of yous, gringo. No way, no mama way. He then pulled out a list that stretched across the room, a giant wall of text that had over 3,000 rules. He pointed to one of them and screamed, Gringo, look at rule number 402. It says here that trying to leave this paradise is forbidden. Mi amigo Circus 02 will hear about this, and he will show you what happens if you are messed with us, oh Algo. My vision turned black. Bold red text in the chat said, User in big's troubles. Then my vision came back. Now I was inside some jail cell, but I could easily escape from it since it's just some sticks thrown together by some Meximut African builder or something. However, right outside my cell was Palm Z, who was seething in silence looking away. He was mumbling to himself, Me why am must be guard. Me am is understimmed, me am out of takis and ADHD is going spicy taco mode, oh Algo. Why can't Jimbo, that is fat bastard, do this instead? I stood up and this made the fat nigger seethe. He said, Listen up, gringo. Now that are awake, me is get Jimbo to take my place. But don't not tell anyone. If you escape on my watch, then me am in big trouble. Fortunately for you, me am, and Jimbo are mods, but circus_02 is admin. He's will give you worstiest punishment when he returns, oh Algo. Palm Z disconnected from the server, and in his place, Jimbo teleported in. He just stood there staring at me eerily. This was pretty nerve-wracking. You could tell that his IQ was sub 50 and only had thoughts about gooning to Cat P. But I had no time to waste. Circus_02's goon. Sesh will likely end soon, so I need to escape before he returns. While I looked for ways to escape, I noticed that I had some weird obsessed things poking me in my pants. They were Jardy seeds. They must have stuck onto me when I sat down next to those Jeets. It didn't seem to be of any use at the time, but one thing I noticed about Jimbo was how weirdly unresponsive he was. He always seemed to whimper for breathes in inconsistent cycles, and any slight movements he made were incredibly laggy. I realized this nigger likely had very bad ping, since he is probably using 50 kps internet in Lesotho. This was good for me, as it wouldn't be too hard to lag him out completely. One thing about Jardy seeds is that they duplicate really fast. Planting one Jardy seed is enough to corrupt an entire backyard within seconds. Using this Jardy seed, I planted it into the ground. Suddenly, it began spouting error models everywhere and copied itself thousands of times a second, like a jeet shitting on the sidewalk. Jimbo started to have a realistic heart attack and spine-chilling depiction of depression as he struggled to breathe, his lag choking him out Floyd style. With Jimbo at his end, I decided to push his lard ass over, knocking him out completely, succumbing to Jardy's seed lag exploit. He then disappeared with the chat saying, "Jimbo lost connection algo." Now I was able to escape unhindered. This place must have been some admin back room or something. There was a pink door with an image of a purple bunny holding a trans flag. This must be circus_02's lair. When I entered, I found two things of interest. One was a note. It was a to-do list. It said, number 1, patch the Jardy seed exploit. Number 2, introduce Indian caste system update. Number 3, add aerodynamic poop physics. And number 4, fix that weird spot that lets my little Agugu subjects escape. I was suddenly filled with hope, knowing there must be a way out somewhere. Besides the note was a laptop full of stickers of any indie troon game you could imagine. I turned it on to find a desktop full of disturbing images, among other things. I noticed that Discord was installed, so I opened it. I was going to log into my account to ask for help, but I was already logged in. It seems like circus_02 hijacked my account and used it to spam everyone I knew with a Gugu Pomni P, which made everyone block me. It looks like my only connection to the outside world was lost until I noticed that one person didn't block me. It was Trunella. Z said XC appreciated the trans wholesome images and forgives me for being a stupid bigot. With no choice, I sent Axir a message explaining my situation. She said XA didn't see the problem and thought I was not appreciating the diverse and unique cultural practices of this world. That was until I mentioned the part where I got a virus. X immediately started ranting about how I am a retarded Windows incel and how Linux would have saved me. In the midst of Xir seething and shilling, I then challenged Xir to try playing the dodgy game I was sent. Because Trunix can only play 0.01% of games, Windows can and is only used by retarded troons who want to LARP as hackers or something. Zess got furious and accepted the challenge. PomZ has joined the server. I quickly hid into a nearby closet that was full of TADC plushies with dildos attached to them. I could hear PomZ crying about Jimbo being a retard who couldn't do a simple job. In the midst of his wailing, a loud shriek came from him in response to what just appeared in chat. Circus_02 has joined the server. The fat spick nigger retard could be heard stuttering and begging for forgiveness. I could see him fall down on his knees, causing a micro-earthquake. Gag, all right, enough playtime. Let's put you as in the naughty Agugu space. I could barely tell what the fuck this ESL nigger was saying, but I had a feeling he was about to open my closet. My intuition was right, as I heard the flies that circled around Circus02's head buzz closer and closer. He swung open the doors, revealing me in the piss-colored light that covered the room. He stared blankly at me for at least 10 seconds in silence before breaking out into a song. Oh, I'm Circus 2. Yes, I'm Circus 2. I love the digital circus, me and you. I'm a silly little fan with my avatar Jax. And when I'm really happy, I just love to plap, plap, plap. After his gay little dance, he come up to me and began to sweat nervously. Geg. Hi, Nate Higgs. Me is watching yous earlier when you was posting on Shardy. Me did not know you was trans. It made me fall in loves with yous, oh algo. There was no arrow, this nigger was 100% serious. Geg, will you please become me, Agugu trans Pomni diaper wife Jemmy? You will ERP with me on Shardy and bait lots of obsessed shartnigs? If not, then I will have to punish my little disobedient Discord kitten like me did to PomZ. This was not even a choice. Both of these options are Giga Vanta Black coal fates that are worse than death. At this moment, I knew it was pretty much over and decided to act. I swallowed one of the jardy seeds and immediately began suffocating as it blocked my throat. I felt like death was beginning to embrace me. But suddenly I felt alive, full of life. I looked around only to be completely demoralized by realizing I was back at the place I started, the giant tile plane with the circus. As I was getting up, Circus02 began posting in chat. "Gag, you is think you can get away through's death? Every pony will be here for as ever. Now you as will stay still, my little kitten. Me soon show you what happens when an agugu subject reject my true Aryan seed." It looks like he was telling the truth. There was no way out, not even through death, because you'll just respawn in this nigger hell. I got up and ran as fast as I can, anywhere away from that tent. While running for my life, I could see in the reflection of the tiles that the Vanta Brown circus nigger was no-clipping and catching up to me. In my despair, I suddenly saw a beam of light. It was the only thing in this nigger hell that was white. It must be the way out, I thought, but I was interrupted by the nigger throwing shit in front of me, making me slip just meters away from the beam. "Gag, you has got caught. Now you is mine, oh algo." But then, out of nowhere, something saved me. A chat message appeared that shocked everyone across the server. Now, Trunella has joined the server. Circus_02 immediately looked back to see Trunella at spawn, looking around. "Oh my John Carmack, she is pure Sisa." He became entirely disinterested in me, completely focused on Zur. He walked up to Zim and said, "Yous is so heckin' zalid. Will you as please be my agugu pomni diaper jemmy wife?" Trunella replied, "Yes, of course, my beautiful BIPOC Nupali Aryan include beast." I was completely awestruck. It was a strangely wholesome moment to see a Jart nigger have anything close to a consensual relationship. But I didn't want to stick around much longer, with the way this circus nigger is. I jumped into the white beam. I then found myself dropped into a server room full of jeets shitting everywhere. I thought I was still stuck in the obsessed nigihell circus, but it turns out I was just being zapped out of some of Cloudflare's servers. The existence of this server, trapping people forever in some 50 IQ retards nigger hell, is pretty scary and Lovecraftian or something. Anyways, the moral of this story is to keep pirating because it is keyed. Just don't be a retard. And also, stop falling for bait.